Beat the team, steal their best player, playoff edition. That is right, boys. We have the 2024 NHL playoffs as we are going to simulate along here and see who wins the first round matchups. Whoever does gets to steal the other team's best player and add it to their roster for the rest of the playoff run as we head into the second, third, and even the Stanley Cup finals. So without further ado, here are our matchups. They are exactly like they are in real life. Vancouver, Nashville, Oilers in LA, Winnipeg and Colorado, Dallas and Vegas in the West. Then we have Boston and Toronto, Florida and Tampa, Carolina and New York, and then finally the Rangers and Capitals. Let's go ahead, see who wins these first round matchups and see which best players are going to be getting traded, I guess, or added to the team that they literally just lost to. Vancouver is going to absolutely dominate Nashville 6-1 in game one. Just like in real life, Winnipeg is going to beat Colorado in game number one, but only 3-2, not an absolute gong show of a game. Boston is going to win game one 2-1 over Toronto. Carolina is going to beat New York 3-1. Edmonton will take game number one 3-2 over LA, even though we have basically dominated this series outside of game number two. And I mean, game four was close, but Stuart Skinner did stand on his head. Just like in real life, Vegas will steal game one on the road. Florida is going to take the first game over Tampa 5-3. Somehow Washington is going to dominate the Rangers 5-1 in game number one. They literally got swept in real life, barely made the playoffs, but they are going to dominate the President's Trophy winners. Vancouver is going to dominate Nashville 5-0 and take a 2-0 series lead. Somehow, some way, the Winnipeg Jets are going to shut out the Colorado Avalanche and take a 2-0 series lead. Boston is also going to go up 2-0 in their series after dominating Toronto, especially in the third period. I mean, 4 straight goals. Carolina also is going to go up 2-0 after dominating the Islanders. The LA Kings are going to tie up the series at 1 apiece, just like they did in real life. Dallas will not fall down 2-0 on home ice as they dominate Vegas in game number 2, 5-1. Florida is going to go up 2-0 over Tampa Bay after a 3-1 victory. The Rangers will take game number 2, only 3-2 in overtime. Adam Fox got the game winner as this series is much closer in NHL 24 than it was in real life. And Vancouver has the Predators on the brink of elimination after going up 3-0 in the series, pretty much dominating them the entire way. Winnipeg is going to go up 3-0 over Colorado after an 8-4 victory. I guess Connor Hellebuyck is, well, playing like Connor Hellebuyck. I mean, the dude is going to end up winning the Vezina, and he was awful in round number 1. Toronto is going to dominate Boston 4-1 and finally get their first win of the series. The Islanders are not going to go down 3-0 off of Pierre Engvall's overtime winner. Somehow LA is actually going to take a 2-1 series lead after beating the Oilers 3-1. Dallas is going to win game number 3 4-3 over Vegas and take a 2-1 series lead. Florida, just like in real life, are going to go up 3-0 over Tampa Bay. Washington is going to take a 2-1 series lead over the Rangers after beating them 4-1. And the Predators are the first team to be eliminated from the playoffs. They got swept by the Vancouver Canucks. They were really not that close in the series. Vancouver was by far the best team, and now they are the first team to lose their best player, which I believe will be Roman Josi. The Colorado Avalanche are not going to end up getting swept as they beat Winnipeg 4-2 and stay alive for another day at least. The Maple Leafs are going to tie up the series at 2 apiece with the Bruins after a 5-2 victory. Carolina is going to shut out the Islanders and take a 3-1 series lead after dominating them 6-0. And of course, EA Sports loves the Kings as they are going to go up 3-1 over my Oilers. Dallas is going to dominate Vegas 4-0 and take a 3-1 series lead. Tampa Bay will not be swept as well as they beat Florida 4-3 in game number 4. Somehow the Washington Capitals are going to take a 3-1 series lead over the Rangers. They pretty much dominated them 5-2 here in game number 4. And the Winnipeg Jets have beaten the Avs in 5 games, kind of like how they beat the Jets in real life in 5 games, as I believe Nathan McKinnon now will be headed to Winnipeg. Toronto is going to take a 3-2 series lead over the Bruins after a tight 5-4 game. The Islanders are going to dominate Carolina 7-2 and will live to fight another day as they force a game 6. The Oilers are also going to force a game 6 with the LA Kings after a 4-3 victory. victory. And the Dallas Stars have dominated Vegas in 5 games in the very first round, as they are going to be adding maybe Mark Stone or Jack Eichel to the roster. And Florida is going to dominate Tampa Bay in 5 games just like they did in real life, and they will be adding the current Art Ross Trophy winner in Nikita Kucherov to their roster, which is a very big pickup. The Rangers are going to end up forcing a Game 6 after a 6-3 victory. The Boston Bruins have forced a Game 7 with Toronto, and we pretty much know already what that means. Carolina is going to eliminate the Islanders in 6 games in the very first round after a 5-2 victory, and they are going to be adding Ilya Sorokin to their roster, so they have the best goalie tandem now with Freddie Anderson and Sorokin. The Oilers are going to force a Game 7 with the LA Kings after a 5-4 victory. The Rangers also are going to force a Game 7 with Washington. All right, so here we are in the third period of Game 7. Toronto and Boston. Boston is leading 5-4 as we all expected, and the Maple Leafs are looking to not get eliminated in the first round yet again for pretty much, what is it, like 7 years now? 1 year they made it out of round number 1, which was last season in the Matthews era. They are down by 1. 22 seconds to go. They got to pull their goaltender. They do. Mitch Marner coming down. Marner has it. Marner shot on net. Great save by, I believe, Linus Ullmark. Liljegren on the point over to Tavares. Johnny T couldn't get it to go. Less than 10 remaining. Empty net. Marchand misses the empty net, but it's not going to matter, as the Toronto Maple Leafs have yet again lost another Game 7 in Boston, as they have been eliminated in round number 1, meaning that the Boston Bruins are going to pick up Austin Matthews and add him to their roster. They just became very, very dangerous. And the Oilers are going to beat the Kings in round number 1. I believe after falling down 3-1 in the series, they're going to make a comeback, beat the Kings, Leon Draisaitl overtime winner, and they are going to be able to add, I guess, Anze Kopitar to their roster. And the Rangers are going to complete the comeback after dominating Washington 6-1 in Game 7. 3 straight goals in the third period. It was not really that close, and they are going to be adding Alexander Ovechkin to the roster, even though technically I don't even know if he's the best player still on that team, but he's the most iconic player. So we are now in round number 2 in the playoffs. We have Vancouver and Edmonton, Winnipeg and Dallas, Boston and Florida, Carolina and New York, the final 4 matchups. They have also added players to their roster, as I've said, the best players from the team that they beat in the previous round. The Oilers are going to dominate Vancouver 5-1 in game number 1. Winnipeg is going to take game 1 over Dallas 3-2. Boston's going to take game number 1 7-4 over Florida. What a gong show of a game. And the Carolina Hurricanes will win game 1 3-1 over the Rangers. Vancouver is going to tie up the series with Edmonton after dominating them 6-2. Winnipeg is going to take a 2-0 series lead after beating Dallas in overtime. Nate Schmidt is going to get the overtime winner on Jake Ottinger. Florida is going to tie up the series at 1 apiece with the Bruins. After a 2-1 victory, Nikita Kucherov gets the game winner. The Rangers are going to dominate Carolina 6-2 and tie up the series. The Oilers are going to shut out the Canucks 3-0 and take a 2-1 series lead. And the Dallas Stars are on the brink of elimination, down 3-0 to the Winnipeg Jets. Boston is going to take a 2-1 series lead over the Florida Panthers. Matthews will get a goal in the third period. I mean, the Panthers had 49 shots on net, which is crazy. The Rangers are going to shut out Carolina 3-0 and take a 2-1 series lead of their own. Adam Fox is going to get the lone goal in the third period. The Oilers are going to get an overtime winner from Zach Hyman and take a 3-1 series lead over Vancouver, as they are also 1 win away from the conference finals. And the Dallas Stars are the first team to get eliminated here in round number 2 after getting swept by the Winnipeg Jets 5-2 in game 4, as it looks like Winnipeg will be adding Jason Robertson to the roster. Florida is going to tie up the series at 2 apiece with a Kyle Okposo overtime winner. Carolina will also tie up the series at 2 apiece after shutting out the Rangers 4-0. Vancouver is going to end up forcing a game 6 after a 2-1 victory. The Boston Bruins are going to go up 3-2 over the Florida Panthers after a Pat Maroon overtime winner. I bet Jack Edwards is not calling him fat now. New York is going to beat Carolina 4-2 and take a 3-2 series lead. And the Edmonton Oilers have advanced to the conference finals after beating Vancouver in 5 games, dominating them in the final game too, 6-2, as they are going to be adding Quinn Hughes to the roster, the best player on the Canucks. Florida is going to dominate Boston in Game 6 and force a Game 7 after a 5-1 victory. Carolina is also going to force a Game 7 after a 5-3 victory. And here we are in Game 7, Boston leading 6-5, their second Game 7 of the playoff run so far. And they again are leading by 1 with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, as Matthew Tkachuk leading Jake DeBrusk leading the NHL in scoring for the playoffs with only 9 points. I mean, in real life, McDavid already has 10, but I mean, McDavid is the greatest player of all time. Forsling behind the net. Not a lot of time to work with for Florida here. Forsling's got to get it up to Kucherov, over to Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk coming in, gets bodied at the point. Forsling behind the net to Kuch. No empty net for Florida, which is a bit of a questionable decision by the Panthers, considering they are down by 1. Still no goaltender pulled, no extra attacker on the ice. Very bad decision by the Panthers, a coaching issue there, as it looks like Boston is just going to wind out the clock here. One last rush, Barkov coming down. Barkov in the middle, Kucherov, rebound, and Matthew Tkachuk is going to tie up the game. 2.8 seconds to go. No extra attacker was needed, as the game now is tied here in Game 7 at 2 apiece. What a pass, what a rebound, and Tkachuk was on the doorstep, baby. The Florida Panthers are not done yet. Great, I gotta watch overtime. Are you kidding me? All right, so here we are in overtime. Game 7, all tied up at, I believe, 5 apiece or 6 apiece. 6 goals in the game in Game 7, which is crazy. Who is going to advance to the conference finals? Boston or Florida? Their second year in a row. Playing in a Game 7. Hopefully we can have a very quick overtime period here. Marchand coming down over Matthews. Matthews, what a wild backhander on Bobrovsky. Luckily, he is going to make the save. Getting board played in the corner. Matthews comes out with it in the middle. Great save by Bobrovsky. Loses it. Yeah, that was a horrible pass there. Montour up to Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk. What is he going to do? Tkachuk coming in. Tkachuk got the game-tying goal. Tkachuk gets the game winner as well, as the Florida Panthers are going to beat Boston in Game 7 of overtime for the second season in a row. And they are off to the conference finals for also a second season in a row, as the Boston Bruins Game 7 woes continue, basically turning in Toronto at this point, as they are going to lose to the Panthers. Tkachuk gets the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. MVP, MVP, MVP. And also, Florida is going to be able to steal, I guess, technically Austin Matthews, but I think I'm going to go with David Pastrnak instead. And the Rangers are going to dominate Carolina 4-1 in Game 7, moving on to the conference finals, as they are going to be able to steal Sebastian Aho from the Canes. And there it is. Our conference finals matchups are set. We got the Oilers and Jets, Florida and New York. Obviously, Edmonton has Quinn Hughes. The Jets have Jason Robertson. Florida has Pastrnak, and the Rangers have Sebastian Aho. Let's see who's going to go on and advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers are going to take game number 1 5-3 over the Jets. Now in the East, we do have a very close game, but Florida is going to come out on top 3-2. Edmonton is going to dominate Winnipeg 6-2 and take a 2-0 series lead. The Florida Panthers are also going to take a 2-0 series lead over the Rangers as they beat them in game 2 4-3. Kucherov, another overtime winner. Winnipeg is going to win their first game of the series 2-1 over Edmonton. The Rangers also are going to win their very first game 3-2 over Florida. The Jets are going to tie up the series at 2 apiece after a 4-2 victory. The Florida Panthers have taken a 3-1 series lead over the Rangers after beating them 5-3. Even though New York got 40 shots on net, Bobrovsky stood tall. And somehow the Jets are going to rally 3 straight and take a 3-2 series lead over the Oilers, put them on the brink of elimination. And the Florida Panthers have made the Stanley Cup Finals after dominating the Rangers in 5 games in the conference finals. They won game 5, 6-3, as they are going to be adding Artemi Panarin to the roster, the highest rated player on the Rangers. All right, so here we are in overtime. The Oilers season is in jeopardy. They need to win this. Robertson coming in. Skinner, make the save. We are all tied up at 5 apiece. What a gong show of a game. But it does not matter. Draisaitl. Leon, get it through, buddy. What are you doing? Oh my God. And then Draisaitl takes a penalty. Are you kidding me right now? On Draisaitl, 2 minutes for tripping. As they're going to be down a man, Ekholm is just going to dump and chase. I guess he's not going to go back. Oh my God, EA Sports, what are you doing? Why would Ekholm ever chase that? All right, luckily he's back. Toffoli. Toffoli again. Over. Monahan. Skinner makes the save. Okay. Nice save by Stuart Skinner. Just pitched his first ever shutout in the playoffs against the LA Kings in real life. Here comes Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers coming in the middle. Monahan. Good save by Skinner. He's going to play it for some odd reason. Ehlers again. Back to the point. Over Morrissey. Great save by Stu. Only 19 seconds left on the penalty kill. Hopefully the Oilers can kill it off. Stuart Skinner makes another great save. As we are basically back to even strength. But unfortunately the Jets have full pressure. They are all over the Oilers right now. Rebound. Skinner is going to make the save as my alarm literally just went off, telling me to get the hell up. I'm up, brother. I'm up. All right, here we go. We got a massive draw in our own end. All right, we have a massive draw in our own end. 19 seconds on the full pressure bar so far. Schmidt. Back to Robertson. Blast one from the point. Skinner has 0 energy. That means he's going to let in a goal. Kyle Connor. Schmidt. And there it is. The Winnipeg Jets have advanced to the conference finals, beating the Oilers in 6 games, as they are going to end up picking up Connor McDavid, the best player in the entire NHL. So I guess that's a plus. McDavid still has a shot at a Stanley Cup. But unfortunately for the Oilers, their playoff run is finished. And here we go. Our Stanley Cup Finals matchup is set. We have the Winnipeg Jets up against the Florida Panthers. Obviously, both teams have been able to add a lot of good players to the roster. 3 players to be exact, I should say. But I mean, the biggest addition of all is probably Connor McDavid to the Winnipeg Jets, the best player in the game, the highest rated player. So let's see who's going to go on and take home the Stanley Cup here in 2024. Florida is going to steal game number 1 with an Oliver Ekman-Larsson overtime winner on Connor Hellebuyck, 4-3. Winnipeg is going to tie up the series at 1 apiece with a Tyler Toffoli overtime winner. So far, both games have gone to overtime. I might have to hop into a few here. All right, so here we are in the 3rd period. Winnipeg down 1-0. Series is all tied up at 1 apiece. Florida looking to take a 2-1 series lead. And of course, Winnipeg looking to tie up the game and force overtime. Coming through the middle, McDavid deking. I don't know what kind of pass that was. Okay. Down low, Robertson. Great shot, but easy save by Bobrovsky. We got 1 minute remaining in the 3rd period here of the Stanley Cup Finals. Whiteout is in full effect. Nice hit there. McDavid moves up to Morrissey. 25 seconds to go. The Jets have to pull their goaltender. It doesn't look like they're going to do it, though. Only 20 to go. Forsling up to Kucherov. Not a lot of time remaining. No empty net for Winnipeg. Very odd decision again by the coaching here in NHL 24. 10 seconds to go. McDavid. Speed McDavid. Why did McDavid slow down so the defender could catch up to him? Does not matter. The Florida Panthers will take a 2-1 series lead over the Winnipeg Jets here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, I think the Jets tied up the series at 2 apiece after an 8-2 victory over Florida. It was 8-0 at one point, but Ekman-Larsson and Kucherov are going to score in the 3rd period. What a domination by Winnipeg. Florida is going to return the favor, dominating Winnipeg 7-3, and they're going to take a 3-2 series lead. The Stanley Cup will be in the building, as they are only 1 win away from winning it all. And the Florida Panthers are going to get the revenge over last season, losing to Vegas in the Stanley Cup Finals as they beat the Winnipeg Jets in 6 games. They won game number 6, 4-3 here in Winnipeg. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to raise the Stanley Cup on home ice, but it does not matter, as they have beaten 4 teams, stolen 3 players, and I guess that's all it's going to take for them to finally go on and win their very first Stanley Cup in their franchise's history, as Nikita Kucherov is going to take home the Conn Smythe for them. I mean, he was a major addition, the pickup they had in round number 1 after they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Adding one of the best players in the world will definitely help out your roster, the current Art Ross trophy winner, and that is exactly what Kucherov did, leading them to a Stanley Cup, grabbing his 3rd of his career, as there it is, the Stanley Cup about to be raised to the Panthers for the first time in their franchise's history. Here comes Barkov coming to lift it, as they are going to go all the way here in 2024 in the challenge of beat the team and steal their best player. The Florida Panthers were the best of them all, as they had a lot of good additions to the roster. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave some support, like liking and subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.